What strategy really comes down to is the manner in which we go about altering the set of interactions so that tomorrow it provides or produces the situation that we really prefer to have as opposed to the current situation that we think we need to figure out how to deal with. And there was a marvelous paper developed by Donella Meadows called Leverage Points, and there's a link to that paper here in references, and there'll be a link also in this video. And in that paper, she depicts 12 distinct ways that one can alter a set of interactions to cause the situation to be distinctively different than it was prior to that alteration. And each of those 12 different ways has the potential for a different level of impact on the the result that that set of interactions produces. So let's start with the these are sequenced from 12 to 1, and as we walk through them, as we get closer and closer to 1, the alteration has the potential for a greater and greater impact on the set of interactions. So parameters within that set of interactions, there are variables and values that are used to influence other things, and those parameters can be changed or altered to have an impact on the interactions. One, there may also be buffers in the interactions, buffers which are used to accommodate, usually to accommodate for inconsistencies. I mean, inventory is a buffer used to accommodate inconsistency in demand. A dam is a buffer meant to deal with inconsistencies in drainage and rainfall so that the water is manageable. One may need to increase or decrease the size of buffers to alter the flow within the set of interactions. The where things flow from what to what may also need to be altered so that the connections between things could in fact be modified. There are often, well, more often than not, in any set of interactions, there are delays between things so that when something arrives at one point, there is some delay before it's realized at some other point or before it flows to another point. The delays in the system are often, or more often than not, responsible for overreaction or underreaction to things so that we don't receive the information soon enough, and we react based upon old information, and it causes us all kinds of difficulties. So that the delays may in fact have to be identified and shortened or lengthened if we are in fact don't need to react too quickly to things. There are situations where it is the best approach to the situation is to in fact slow down. Negative feedback tends to balance things, tends to slow things down, and it may in fact be appropriate to provide some negative feedback in certain places to balance things out. And then there are maybe places where we need reinforcing feedback to strengthen or speed things up. And there may be places where there could, in fact, the set of interactions could benefit from information flows that currently don't exist in the set of interactions. So we would need to create and provide those information flows from one place to another so that the information can, in fact, be utilized. There are a set of rules for the interaction of pieces or elements within this set of interactions, and that set of rules could in fact be modified. The structure itself, in terms of the way things are interconnected together, the interactions could be allowed to evolve to better address the situation. The entire set of interactions is likely to operate based upon some goal that it's attempting to achieve, and the goal for that set of interactions could be changed, which would have an impact on all of the things mentioned to this point. And then that whole set of interactions and the goal were established based upon a paradigm or a, more than one paradigm. If in fact that paradigm could change, it could change the whole set of interactions that are put together to be consistent with that paradigm. And the greatest change or the greatest influence on a set of interactions comes from figuring out how to transcend paradigms altogether, to look at it so objectively that it isn't evaluated based upon any particular paradigm, though evaluated on multiple paradigms to get a more realistic sense of how the interactions could be altered to produce the desired situation. Now this is, excuse me, this is probably not rememberable. I can't remember it when I run into a set of interactions that I attempt to figure out how to work with. I have to sit down with this sequence and as sort of as a checklist, and I walk through it from one to the other to the other to say, is there somewhere in here that this would have a, a positive impact on the set of interactions to produce what it is that I'm trying to affect through this interaction. I expect that this will become uh, more understandable when you look at some of the examples that are being developed, so that when I look at a set of interactions, I say, okay, here's where we could in fact do this and it represents a number 8, or here's a number 5 and this is the implications of doing a number 5, or it would be beneficial to implement a buffer at this point and it's a number 11 and here is the implication of doing that. So this is an introduction to leverage points, and I would encourage you to read Meadows' paper because it's marvelous. And when I get to the examples, hopefully this will end up being clarified. So some thoughts on leverage points, and I'll see you in the next video.